Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cake Foo. We are really happy that you're here today. We're really excited about today's training. We are celebrating. Liz Marrek and I both have our Facebook pages for our business. Liz Marrek has Artisan Cake Company. I have Cake Foo, and we have both within the last week or so reached our 20,000 Facebook fans, and yay! We're really excited about that, and so we wanted to do something kind of special today and share some good information with you and do some really cool giveaways. So we have Liz Marrek here. Hi, Liz.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Awesome. And Liz is going to be joining us, sharing a bunch of stuff that, we're going to kind of just pick each other's brains, talk about branding, social media, how to get the clients you want to get, all those kinds of things. And so we should be covering a lot today. And so I hope you guys are excited about what we've got to share. And I hope that I hope that you guys really enjoy this, and thank you. This is the biggest thing, is thank you. We want to thank you guys for being such great fans and such great supporters of both Artisan Cake Company and of Cake Foo.
It's crazy to me to think that there's 20,000 people out there who know are aware that we're in existence, or that there's 20,000 people on Facebook. I don't know, there's just like such a big number.
It is.
Seems crazy.
Yep, it is huge, isn't it? And and
a lot.
Yeah, just gonna grow from there. It's so cool. So we are gonna start off. Oh, before we get started, I want you guys to know, for those of you that have just joined us, we are doing a major set of giveaways.
20 giveaways! Woo!
Yay! Okay, so we're not giving all of them away today.
Right.
Just so you know, we're giving away throughout the next month. We will be giving away, between 3 to 5-ish giveaways every week. So depending on the week, you're going to want to go on every week, enter, and try to win some of these awesome giveaways.
And we'll post to the giveaways on our pages, so definitely, if you haven't, like Cake Foo's page, and subscribe to Cake Foo's page, subscribe to Artisan Cake Company's page, so that whenever we post information about the giveaways, you'll get a notification.
Exactly. And also, another thing that we have, we definitely have the Facebook pages. If you haven't gone on and liked them, and like Liz said, subscribe, because there is a difference between liking and subscribing. Yeah. Liking does not necessarily mean that you're going to always see what we have to offer. So if you subscribe, though, we will always show up in your news feed every time we post something. So you want to make sure that you actually go on and subscribe to both of those. And another thing, I believe Liz Marrek, you have an email list that you send out emails to people. Is that right?
That's my newsletter on my website, artisancakecompany.com, and you can subscribe to my newsletters. And I hardly ever send out newsletters. It's always just like really important information, like a class coming up, or a new YouTube tutorial that's free or something like that. So it's not Spanish stuff.
Yeah, good. We send out emails a little more regularly because we have our trainings every week. We send out the information for the trainings every week. So you'll get quite a few more emails from Cake Foo than you would Artisan Cake Company, but go and sign up for the email lists for both of those so that you guys can be aware of what's going on. And in case you do miss it in your Facebook news feed, you'll get the emails. And so, yeah, definitely go and do that. Go ahead, and there should be a link for you guys in the chat box to take you over to register for the giveaways. We are not going to give anything away today right away, because we want to build up the numbers and make it more exciting, so that you guys can all have a chance. So everyone can have a chance to be a part of this giveaway. So this week, you want to tell what the giveaways are, or do you want me to?
You can tell them. I mean,
okay. I don't want to. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So
you're doing great.
All right. Okay. We're going to be giving away 4 things this week. We're going to be giving away a Cake Foo membership, valued at $99. So it's a really, really cool giveaway. That right there alone is cool. And also, Liz Marrek has her digital cake sketching, which is it's growing massively.
Yeah, there's quite a few templates in there now.
Yeah.
Dan's working on more. He's working on some custom brushes too. So
yay! Oh yay! I'm so excited for that. These custom brushes are going to be so cool. I know about them. They're so cool.
He's been showing me some stuff, and I'm like,
yay! Oh, I'm so excited for that. We'll have to do another training when the brushes come out. So.
Yeah.
But we're going to be giving away the whole set of the digital templates that Liz has created. There are the actual cake templates that you can design, and then there are images that you can use, flower images, lace images, things like that you can add to the cake design to make wonderful, amazing images to share with your clients. And it really just adds to the professionalism of things. Just amazing. And we have a digital cake sketching group that is so, every day we get dozens of people wanting to join this group. It is
I love
such a
seeing
huge
all the pictures everybody posts of their cakes. Like, I'm just amazed sometimes. There's like, my first cake sketch. And I'm just like, that's your first cake sketch? Mine was horrible. And they're like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. It's awful. I'm just like, whatever.
It really is fun to see. There's a lot of sharing, a lot of information that goes on over there. So if you do win or decide to purchase this digital cake sketching thing, you can go ahead and find our Facebook group and join our Facebook group. It's the Digital Cake Sketching Facebook group. Really cool stuff. I mean, when Liz introduced it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to do this. I have got to be a part of this. And so we've been really, really happy about it. And you can find all of that on on the Cake Foo marketplace. So on the website. So we will be giving away a whole set of that. I think the value of that is around $50.
Yeah.
So really nice set also. And then Liz and I are going to be giving away something that I think is really fun. We offer this, both of us offer this through, I offer through Cake Foo. Liz offers it through her Patreon website that she does. And I think they're really cool. But it's a mentorship where you can actually come online and we'll be face-to-face, one-on-one, be able to talk about anything you want, cake-related.
So it can be customized class. So if you want to talk about, sculptures or modeling or hand painting, whatever you want, we can basically talk whatever, it's like a one-on-one class with your teacher through the magic of the internet.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. Okay, so I'm not sure what Liz has hers valued at, but we have ours set at $99 for the mentorship. So I will assume that the value of hers is I don't know, roughly the same. I don't know.
No, it's like, what kind of value do you put on a one-on-one class?
Exactly. It's really hard to decide on stuff like that.
Like, and I want to start doing more of those for people because there's been a real interest in. And I did my first one with PJ Jenkins, and it was really fun. And she asked some great questions. Some of them were really simple, just like, how do you store your cake tools so they're not like all over the kitchen? And I was like, oh, well, let me show you my kitchen. And I kind of like took my computer and just like walked around the kitchen and had her look at it and everything. So it's like what you want to know. I mean, I might, if I put together a class, it might not be necessarily exactly the information you want to know. So it's nice to be like, this is the exact questions I want to know, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that there's a real value in that because, like you said, it's what you want to know. And And so you can create this whole, kind of a one-on-one class based on what you want to know and not what we feel like, I don't know, maybe everyone wants to hear, So,
Totally.
yeah, it definitely is a good thing. It's a really good thing. And yeah, I've done a couple, and they're really fun. I just, and it, not only is it a class, but you actually get to, become friends with this person. I love it. I think it's really fun to be able to get to know people that are in the industry and that, the up and coming cake decorators.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, definitely we will be giving one for me and one for Liz, and
And all kinds of other exciting giveaways after
yeah,
that. So.
exactly. That's just this week.
Yeah, that's just this
So,
week.
yeah, we've got lots of items, lots of things that are coming up that we will be giving away, and we will announce them every week, and you'll have a chance to go on and enter these giveaways. So, yay! So exciting. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're going to jump into our training portion and try and cover as much as we can, because I think that this kind of information is really important to everybody, not just beginning cake decorators or someone that's just wanting to, or just starting a cake business. I think this is something that everybody can work on, including me. I think that working through social media, the social media is constantly changing, constantly coming out with new ideas, new things, and it's always a good thing to stay on top of that. So yeah, we're going to start by talking about branding and creating a brand for yourself, and why you need to create a brand for yourself, and how to create a brand for yourself. So Liz, you wanted to talk about basically how to start your own brand.
Right. And I think that word can be really confusing for some cake decorators. And I forget sometimes that I have a background in graphic design and marketing, and so a brand is a very clear idea in my mind. But it's not for everybody. But it really is not complicated. And I try to explain a brand as the face that you are presenting to the world. And by face, I mean the style of your company. Are you like a funky, playful, fun like cake company? Do you like really specialize in little cute toppers like Mimi Cafe, or do you really like to do elegant wedding cakes? That's kind of like the first step in defining your brand is what sort of style do you see yourself as a company. Sometimes it's in a lot of your name explains that, And the second is, what does your logo, the way you post your photos, the way your website looks, how does that enforce your brand? So the idea is that whenever you post a photo of your cake, or you design a cake, people can tell that it's yours before you even, if there's no logo on there, they can be like, oh, that really looks like this style, this person's style. Like Timbo, I always know it's his cakes. Like, he has a really distinct style, a really distinct brand, and a lot of that comes from he is an artist, as well, who does like kind of graffiti type artwork, and it really comes out in his cakes the way he does it. So that's something that you can work on by looking at other people's brands. So when I very first started coming up with a design idea for my brand, I really looked up to a few other cake decorators, and I thought, well, why do I like them? And it was, one of the things was their cakes are super clean. There's like no flaws on them. They have really sharp edges. They've got very specific color schemes, and their logo is always like in the upper left, or their website is very like light. It's very, very simple. So I'm not copying their brand, but I'm basically I'm doing research, basically saying, okay, I have a tendency to want to make my website really busy and have all information and tons of details and tons of content, but that's interferes with the brand that I'm shooting for, so I have to stop myself and say, okay, I want my website to be mostly photos, and I want it to be very light in color and very simple and clean and modern looking, because that's how I want people to see me. I don't want them to see me as a sort of overly cluttered, clunky, website or something. So that's kind of how you can get started with defining your brand.
I think that's really important. One thing about building a brand that I have thought was kind of important is more. It's not just about the cake, like you said. It's you want to your pictures. You want them to be so that people can recognize your cake.
Right.
And your website. You want it to all be the style that you like. I think the one thing that I think is important is putting a face to your brand as well as the cake. I think it's important. I mean, if you look at all of the top cake decorators in the industry, there is a definite face to them, and getting out there as far as putting yourself out there. I think that's something that, Liz, you have done so well, is getting yourself out there, and don't be afraid to go, to get out there and post pictures of yourself with the cake or working on the cake or things like that. Just you want to be somebody who is a part of the industry.
Yeah,
And
people like to see that stuff with social media, how it is now. I mean, they like to see the work in progress. They like to see the behind the scenes. They like to see who you are. I've had clients who've contacted me and said, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram, and I love all the T-shirts you wear." And it's like, oh, that's cool, I mean, that's just kind of like a very random personal thing that's about me. I collect T-shirts, and they just thought that was really, that's why they liked me and wanted to order a cake from me, aside from the fact that I make cakes, So people like to know who you are, and they connect with you. And always remember that when you're posting things on social media, that everybody can see it.
You are being watched. That is for sure.
When you rant about things, people don't like that. So, you should definitely keep sort of like personal outbursts or frustrations in our groups where we do that.
There are groups for that. Yes.
Because that's important. It is important to be able to vent and stuff, but that really turns clients off. No client wants to think that you're frustrated at them or that they feel like you're an arrogant person. So that's part of your brand. You want to put yourself out there as being very friendly. You're willing to work with the customers. You answer questions, and you never are frustrated by silly questions. So
yeah,
be aware of that stuff.
Yeah, definitely being part of the business and showing that there is definitely someone behind the cakes that I just think that's kind of important. Another thing that I think about when it comes to branding, and these aren't the really important things, but they really do add to and help. One would be having like a little sticker that you can put on your cake boxes when you deliver them that has your little logo on it, or some ribbon customized to go around the base of your cake that has your logo on it, or something like that. Just little logos here and there that kind of show people, hey, this is because when I think about a really high-end brand, I think of let's say a Gucci purse. You're going to see a logo.
Yes.
And people like that logo. They will pay money to be able to show that logo. Any kind of clothing that is a high-end brand is going to have that logo on there, and people are excited about that, and they want to show off that logo. And so, to have a cute little sticker on your cake box that says, "Look, this came from Artisan Cake Company. I'm so, look at what I bought. I bought this."
I totally need to do that too. That's even something that I haven't done yet because, like branding, even like the way that you present yourself to the world is constantly something you're always working on and constantly building on. And it's like I work really hard at making sure I watermark all of my things online, and I have a very strong online branding presence for myself, but I don't necessarily work as hard with my I don't know, real world.
Your offline, yeah.
Offline? Is there an offline? Because I work from home, I am not that big, like I'm not a bakery, you know, like I'm a storefront, and so I hadn't really thought of it being like that important, but it really is. So that's definitely something that I need to work on as well. I need to get like T-shirts for myself and for my assistant, so that when we go places to deliver cakes, we're advertising the business. When we bring cakes to places, I need to get a sticker for my car so that people see who I am when I show up. I mean, all these little things that I don't really think about, that I'm just like, oh, I need to do real life branding as well.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the real life branding I think is important, but I think you also want to go back to, like you said at the very beginning, is researching, you know, what you want your brand to be, and make sure everything that you acquire as far as branding fits into that. You know, you don't want to have, you know, let's say this crazy, you know, I don't know. Let's say an Art Deco design to your stickers, and then on your, you know, your Facebook or on your website, you've got these elegant flowery whatever. You know, you want it to all kind of go together. You want to be able to be known for, hey, I see that image right there, that style right there. I know that is.
Yeah, and there's a. I think cake decorators are like artists. That's easy to get kind of lost in, like, oh, I really like this style some days. I really like these elegant, frou-frou-y kind of designs for a logo. And then the next day you're working on your website and you're like, oh, I want this really clean and modern design. And it's like you really need to be consistent all along. Because even I mean, I do all kinds of different cakes, like I kind of just have to, but the kind of cakes that I advertise myself are doing is the really creative ones, the ones that I would say are more on the rustic country kind of side of things as far as wedding cakes go, and not so much the clean, simple, tons of roses and modern cakes, not because I don't like them, but it's just that's what I prefer to do, so that's sort of what I advertise myself as. So the majority of brides who contact me for cakes, they always want ruffles, they always want sugar flowers, they always want a pretty topper or an interesting stacked design, because that's how I advertise myself, as somebody who specializes in those types of cakes. That doesn't mean that I don't do modern cakes, I just don't post those.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, and then let's go on to like our marketing.
Okay.
So this is something that, as far as the actual cake business side of things and trying to get customers for a cake business, I don't have a whole lot of information on that. So Liz has quite a bit of information on that. Since I have moved into, you know, the online thing, I don't do, you know, the marketing for brides and things like that. So I do have a little bit of input, but Liz has most of this. So yeah, where do you? I mean, because marketing can be very expensive, and I think that that's something that intimidates a lot of cake decorators when they're starting a business or trying to grow their business. I mean, because there's magazines, there's newspapers, there's, you know, the bridal shows, there's the online, you know, websites that you can pay in tons of money to every avenue. So which ones are the best? Which ones do you recommend? Which ones do you stay away from?
I think that marketing, it has changed so much in the last even just like 5 years. It changes a lot, and I find I've tried a lot of different types of marketing. I'm always kind of like trying out new things. I've done like the online bridal websites like Knot.com or Wedding Wire. I've bought ad space within magazines that are like big magazines and also local magazines. I've done radio stuff. Like I've tried all of these different things, and it really depends on who you're trying to reach. So if you are really specializing in wedding cakes and you want more wedding cake orders, first off, you have to have a really good website, and that is where you're going to get the majority of your orders from. So what is a good website? A good website is something that has really nice pictures and is very easy to navigate. It should be mostly just pictures of your cakes. There shouldn't really be a lot of information aside from a contact page, maybe a little bit about you, but really just some really high quality, nice pictures of your work. And the second thing is you have to have a blog, which sounds hard. You know, that sounds really hard to do, but blogs are so easy to do and are really important for your website because Google, which, you know, decides how well you rank on, you know, amongst other cake decorators, they value websites that update their website often. And the way that you can do that is by either uploading pictures of your cakes frequently, or, you know, doing double duty and not only uploading recent pictures of your cakes, but also blogging about a recent picture of a cake. Or you could blog about a local, you know, event that's cake related, or you could blog about a friend's cake that you really like. But that just looks really important to Google. They scan your website, and every time you blog, they say, this person is an expert in their field in this area. So when somebody types in, you know, wedding cakes for Portland, Oregon, my website pops up above others because I blog all the time. I'm always updating my website. I'm always adding new information. So, and I'm using important words within my website, like, you know, bridal shows, wedding cakes, this kind of wedding cake, rustic wedding cakes, that kind of stuff. And they're just really simple blog posts. They're like 500 words, couple of photos. That's it. I do a couple a month. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I have huge breaks when I get really busy, but it only takes like 5 or 10 minutes to do. And for the value that you get, I mean, it's either spend 5 or 10 minutes blogging or thousands of dollars in ad space. And it's like, I mean, it's basically free advertising for you. That's a free thing that you can do yourself that you should make time for, you know. The other thing is I get a lot of success from having posts in local magazines, not necessarily, you know, brides.com or Brides Magazine. I've never been in Brides Magazine.
Yeah. Well, we all strive for that. But
maybe someday. But I've made connections with local vendors, and the way I've done that is I go to small bridal shows, like the ones that only are a couple $100s, and it's not so much about meeting brides. I mean, it's nice, but you can't really depend on that per se. You never know how busy it's going to be. But it is a great opportunity to meet other local vendors, introduce yourself, tell them about your cakes, give them your card, tell them if they ever want to collaborate on a photo shoot that you'd be happy to provide a cake or something that you want to work together. Photographers then submit those photos to magazines in hopes that they will be published, as well as blogs and things like that. And now you have a friend. You have a friend in the industry, so they'll refer you to other weddings that they're working at if they've enjoyed working with you. They'll refer you to brides. If they say, oh, I'm looking for this unique cake design, they're like, oh, I know just the person. You know, I met this person at a cake show. And then when they are asked to maybe do a photo shoot for a magazine, the magazine will say, you know, do you have somebody you want to do the cake for? I mean, it's all about who you know. So making connections with other vendors is very, very important and can be tricky. But you just gotta just be friendly and normal. Don't be desperate. You know. It is like really nice to actually have friends in the industry. Is aside from just the benefits of networking and things like that. And then as far as the online marketing, Facebook's changed a lot. It's not as important. I don't think it's as effective as it used to be, because they just have changed what people see and what they don't see. So I really feel like Facebook pages are more of a platform to just be connected to each other. Like, you know, I'm connected to you, Amelia, by it's kind of like my Facebook is like my news channel now. Like, I just kind of read my updates from people I subscribe to, and I don't really see anything from anything that I don't subscribe to. So make sure you're subscribing to the pages you want to see updates from. But the thing that I actually have noticed that's been really good for advertising online is Instagram, which can be really confusing, but it's very, very easy, and I use it all the time, almost exclusively. I take a picture of in-process photos. I take pictures of cakes I've just made on Instagram. And there's a feature that on Instagram that you can share to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Flickr, all at once. So you just put in your hashtags, which would be like cake, sugar, things that people would search for within Instagram, and it shares to all of those platforms at once. So it's like, super duper easy. Because I, for one, I never like get on Twitter. I never like go to Flickr, but I know some people do use those platforms. So it's an easy way to share everything all at once. And I actually get clients through Instagram. I get people who call me and say, I've followed you on Instagram for years. I want you to make me a cake for my son's, birthday or my mom's anniversary or something like that. So way more than Facebook, because Facebook's more like everybody in the world, and Instagram's seems to be more like local for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I agree with everything that you've said. I think that one thing that as far as marketing yourself as an actual business, one thing that I can think of is to get an in with other vendors, not just in the cake decorating community, but in your very specific area. I think that that's really important to be able to say you have a florist that ends up, doing the flowers for a couple of the weddings that you have done a cake for. So, maybe you guys can work together a little bit and introduce each other to the people that you bring in, or, and just being, building a relationship with them, so that if somebody asks and says, they go to, the florist. I can think of florist because we work closely with florists sometimes. So anyway, so someone goes to the florist and says, I haven't gone and seen any cake decorators yet. Are there any that you might recommend? Mm-hmm. If they have a relationship with you and trust you as a very good cake decorator and someone who they feel is a good personality, a good business.
Matches their style, their work ethic.
Exactly. Work ethic is very important too, yeah. And so if they feel like that, they're good friends with you and that, maybe you're going to return the favor someday, they'll refer you. They'll say, hey, you know what? I know that, Artisan Cake Company is a really awesome, cake shop. They've got really awesome cakes, and I know the decorator personally, and she's a great person, so definitely go over to her. So definitely work at building that rapport with the other vendors, but be really careful of, there are some vendors that will require or expect a kickback of some sort.
Yeah, none of that.
Don't fall into that. There's no need for them to get a percentage of what you are working so hard to do. I don't think that they would want to give you a percentage of what they are offering, and so just stay away from that. In my opinion, that's to stay away from that. So. All right. Another thing was, as you're talking about Facebook and things like that, there are ways to keep you head and center and in the forefront of Facebook. Right. It's hard to do because Facebook does want to get your advertising money, and so it really is difficult to do. But if you can find the posts that are going to be, be shared a lot, definitely sharing and liking pictures brings them up to the top of the pages, and more people are going to see it that way. Right. So, for example, like Liz said, do trendy cakes. Do something that is going to really bring in a lot of likes. Yeah.
I mean, it might feel like you're posting things and nobody's interacting with you, and that can feel very frustrating. That can feel very frustrating, and that's how Facebook wants you to feel, because they want you to pay to get things shared more. But it doesn't take that many likes or comments for things to start being shown to more people, because Facebook does, however, Facebook pays attention to popular posts. So ways that you can sort of build your audience is to make projects that are specifically meant for sharing and gaining traffic. This can be something like a tutorial where you do like a little step-by-step process on how to make a little minion. I love those little things. They're just like 10 pictures that are all, I think they use Pick Stitch or something, and it's like, this is how I make a piece of broccoli that looks realistic. I mean, that's cool stuff. It doesn't take a ton of time to do, and people love to share that. And always post to your business page. Do not share things from your personal page, because your page is hopefully private. And if you share things from your personal page, they don't show up on other people's pages. So always be sharing on your business page, and then share that post to groups, to other pages, other things like that. And then people will see where it came from and like your page and subscribe or whatever. Another thing to make just for fun can be like copyrighted characters. I don't recommend doing Disney, but let's say you wanted to do like a Minecraft cake or something like that. You're not selling it. You're just making it just for fun, just to post. And then, wow, that's so cool looking. How did you make those squares? Or showing like a hand-painted technique that people don't know about. That kind of stuff. That stuff goes viral. Sometimes the companies themselves will post it on their page because they're just like, wow, I mean, can you imagine making a Minecraft cake and then the Minecraft game is like, look at this amazing cake that this person made. I mean, they love that stuff. So, I mean, that kind of stuff can do a lot of attention.
Definitely. I agree with the pictures, posting pictures that are specifically with the mindset of them going viral. And another thing is asking questions and asking for opinions, or write posts that are going to get people talking, in a good way. In a good way. You don't want the negative attention, but definitely be thinking about asking a question, or getting some input from people that that people are going to write on this post. You want to be able to. It's all about getting people to like and post and comment and share, And so definitely think about that when you're writing your posts. And another thing is post regularly. Like Liz said with a blog, if you post regularly with a blog, you're going to be higher ranked in Google searches. And when I had my personal cake decorating business page, I wasn't. It was before I was the national award-winning cake decorator, whatever. But I had gotten to the point where my website was in the top 2 or 3 links on Google searches when anybody searched for Utah cakes, or things like that. So you want to insert the words that are going to bring in what you're looking for. If people are going to be searching for your specific area, make sure that you're talking about your area. Make sure you're talking about the cakes in your area, and those keywords are pretty important. But on Facebook and your other social media sites, I would definitely post regularly, very regularly, because the more often you post, the more chance you have of something getting recognized and people seeing it. So not just random junk, but it needs to be good content on a regular basis to keep your business in the forefront. I know that when I have a friend that is on Facebook that I've looked at their page, I've commented, they're more likely to pop up at the top of my newsfeed because Facebook sees that I was interested in what they had to say, and so the next time they have something to say, it just happens to show up on my Facebook feed. And so if you can get that interaction and post regularly, you're going to be popping up on other people's Facebook pages more often than if you wait weeks between making your posts and comments. So we wanted to talk about watermarks.
Mm-hmm.
And Liz has a way of watermarking through her phone, which I think is super cool. And she's going to kind of explain that a little bit. And then I've got some watermarking that I'll show you how to do on the computer. So,
yeah, I use, like I said, I use mostly Instagram for posting my photos, because I was just talking to somebody in the chat room, and it feels like when you're not doing marketing that it sounds like so much. It sounds like you're doing all of this stuff and it's taking all of this time, but it actually doesn't. I actually market the things that I just am already working on, so I might take pictures with my phone of a step-by-step process of how to make a face, and then and I do that with an app called PicStitch. And then I put my watermark on it, and I post it to Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook with all one button. And then I do the same thing with just in-process photos. Like yesterday I was working at a photo shoot, and I took some pictures of some of the things that we were working on during the photo shoot and just posted them to Instagram. And that stuff I don't usually watermark. I probably should, but the ones that I always do watermark are my cakes. And that app that I use is a free app, and there's tons of them on your phone. Like I have an app, I have an iPhone, but there's other phones obviously. I don't know if you can see that, but this is like Watermark app right here. And it you basically just take a picture with your phone, you upload it into the app, and you have to have obviously your watermark on your phone. And the way that you do that, at least the way that I do it, is I emailed myself a picture of my watermark and then downloaded it on my phone. Like I opened my email in my phone and downloaded it. But if you don't have a watermark, you have the option of just typing out your email, or not your email, but your website. So I could say www.artisancakeccompany.com, and just you can move it around on your phone wherever, like if I wanted it to be at the bottom or the top or somewhere, save it to my phone, and then open it up in Instagram and then post it. So I always do that for like when I deliver a cake or something like that, so that if it does get shared, which you would hopefully it would get shared, your watermark is on there. And that's really important for people to, it's part of your branding, it's part of your, it also protects you, so that if somebody like a magazine or something sees your cake and they want to publish it, for some reason magazines are really bad at doing research, and they could blog about it and actually give credit to the wrong person, because maybe somebody posted it to their blog and the magazine thinks it's that blog that made the cake, but in reality it's your cake. So I mean, you can't stop really people from removing watermarks if they want to be devious like that, but you definitely want to do your due diligence and be letting people know who you are, so that if they want to know, they don't have to hunt for it.
Cool. Yes, I think that is very important. It's something that I haven't done a lot of because I don't know. I guess I didn't know about very much about watermarking when I had my personal cake business, but since then, I still do cakes once in a while. I still do them, but I don't know. I guess I haven't been working as much on my branding, because I'm not trying to gain the clientele that I used to. But I still should. So I've decided that I'm going to start watermarking. So yes. I will. All right. So I want to show you guys. This is. Let's see if I can pull this up. I'm going to show you guys a demo of how I do watermarking for my images. Okay, so we're going to. Okay, there. You guys should be able to see my screen. I use Pixlr.com when I'm doing stuff like this. Photoshop is probably the best way to go if you have Photoshop, but if you don't, there's other things that you can get. GIMP is one that you can download and everything. But I like Pixlr because it's just there online, and it has okay. So it's got the Pixlr editor, which is very if you know how to do photo editing, this is the one for you because you can do a lot more. It's a lot more like Photoshop. The Pixlr Express is like the dumbed down version, easier version, and then the Pixlr-O-Matic is, I think it's too dumbed down. I never use that one, but I'm going to show you guys the Pixlr Express one because I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Clicking on the wrong screen. Okay, so we're going to click on the Pixlr, the Express. And so this is where we're going to upload our picture. You're going to click on where it says Browse, and then you get to find your picture. I'm just going to pick this one right here. It's a picture I did for my little boy last year for his birthday.
Aww.
Isn't he cute?
Wow, I love that. Oh my gosh, look at that little trike. That thing's insane.
Oh yeah, the little tricycle on the bottom. That was
Wow.
that was a fun project.
That's crazy.
So yeah, thank you. All right, so we are going to show you how to put our watermark over it. Whoops, not adjustment. No, that's right. Yes, you have to come down to adjustment, and we're going to add an image right here. You have to have your logo already ready as far as having a plain background, like not a plain but a clear background. It needs to be like a PNG file where there is no background. So I have my logo right here, and I've changed it to black and white so that it's not going to take away a lot from the picture. I have to size it down a little bit.
Explain real quick about the PNG thing. If you that's how the background's transparent, is that it's a PNG, not a JPEG.
Yes, thank you, thank you. If you can see you can only see the cake foo, and you can see back behind where the whole background, and so a PNG file allows you to be able to have that clear background. A JPEG file, you would have white through all of that. So yeah. So we have our cake foo logo here now. But it's pretty intrusive, and you could, if you want to, make it smaller, whatever, and put it down like on the side, and that would give you a good logo, and people will notice that it's there. If you want to be really safe and you feel like you need to have a watermark over your actual cake because you're worried about people stealing it, then there is a way to take your, here, we'll make it bigger again, and you can turn it, you can, whatever. So say we want to have the watermark right over the front of the picture. I wouldn't do this because I don't want to ruin my cake picture. But if you decide that this is what you want to do and you're concerned about people stealing your images, you can definitely do this. So come down to where it says opacity, and you can just turn that down to as light as you want it to go. And so there you can still see the actual cake, but you can see that there is a logo on it also. And so people stealing your cake pictures is going to be a lot harder to do. They can still go through and edit it if they're really good at Photoshop, but it will slow them down for sure. So yeah, you can go ahead and apply it like that. If you don't have a logo, let's say we don't have a logo that's fit for doing this, you can type it in. So there are tons of different fonts. I kind of stick with this arm wrestler because it kind of matches the cake foo lettering.
This is a great website. I've never heard of this one.
Oh really? Oh, I love Pixlr. I absolutely love it. Okay, so there you go. I've got my wording in here, and you want to make sure it's white. It usually starts out white, so it's not a problem. But if you come over here, you can see the little checker mark thing. That is the opacity. So you can turn that down as much as you want, as high or low as you want, and that will give you the ability to put your watermark on there with just lettering. So make it as dark or light as you want, that kind of a thing. So there you go. That's how you can watermark your images, and then all you have to do is save it and then upload it. It is an extra step. I've heard people complaining that I don't watermark my cakes because it takes too much time, too much effort, blah, blah, blah. If you're, it is another step. But
yeah,
it does
everybody
protect
says that. Everybody says that until their cake goes viral with no logo on it.
with no image on it, exactly.
And they're just like, I should have taken that 2 minutes to watermark.
Exactly. And I do have some pictures that have gone viral, and they're out on
That jean cake you did, that jean cake went viral, and it was like, it didn't have a watermark on it, right?
It didn't, and it's shared all the time on like Pinterest, and there's no lead back to my website, because people take it and they share it, and then they take it and they share it, and they take it and they share it, and it ends up losing that link. And there's no way for people to get back to the website where there's an actual tutorial on how to do the project, So, I mean, and of course I'm not getting credit for the cake that I made. So, anyway, someone says, watermarking is good because if another decorator wants to make a cake similar in style, then they know who to contact to get.
Yep.
That is so true. There are a lot of times where we're asked to do cakes that they want to exact, and we either have to say no, I don't do that, which is okay. But if you're okay with copying, you want to be able to get permission from the person who was the original creator of this cake. And so to be able to do that is, it's pretty important to at least say, hey, I want to do this, and it leads them back to you, so it's good. Another thing is putting your actual website address on there is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think if you have a easily searchable website, like Cake Foo, if someone types in Cake Foo, they're going to get to Cake Foo.
Right.
But if you have something that's like
Jennifer's Special Cakes.
Exactly. Yeah, Jennifer's Cakes. There's going to be a bunch of them out there, and you're not going to be able to get back to the right one. So if you put your website logo or your website address on there as part of your watermark, it's going to be a lot easier for people to get back to you. So there you go, watermarking 101 from Liz and Amelia.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so
the last thing I wanted to talk about was how to get better customers. Do we have time for that? It's like 11.
Yeah, I think that we do. I mean, we'll have to hurry through it.
Right.
But I think that we want to cover it. So
people ask these questions to me all the time in Sugar Geeks, which is my online Facebook group, and it's just like you accidentally, when you're first learning and you're first making cakes, you just kind of do whatever, and you don't really have a direction, and you just you're always making what people ask you to make. And I was in that same exact position when I first started cake decorating. I didn't really have designs that I was burning to create. I was just trying to make something that didn't fall over, or I mean, that was really my goal. And so when I wanted to start doing more sculpted cakes, I had a really hard time finding those clients, and because in Oregon, we actually don't really have a lot of high-end cake shops and people who do really outlandish cakes, which is great for me because I have a niche. But also, nobody knows that those cakes exist around here, and this is not like my online presence. This is my pay the bills. I want people to order these cakes presence, So how I began sort of getting more customers that order the kind of cakes that I want to make is I had to make those cakes and put them onto my website. Remember I said the website is your most important stepping stone from the public that's outside your front door to ordering cakes from you and actually paying you money. So on my website, I really focused on featuring sculpted cakes that I felt like were popular in the industry at the time. And a lot of that was like the bust cakes, like the heads and the bodies. It's like, here's a doctor's face, or here's a princess face, or something like that, so that people knew that I could do that. And I think it was like the fourth thing I made in that style, which was a zombie cake, and it went viral. It was like shared in my local newspaper, the local magazines, on the radio, and that kind of stuff. And that really was the first thing that sort of like pushed me into a locally known sculpted cake artist. And then the second thing I did was a food cake, which was like a giant burrito, and I didn't think at the time that it was like anything that amazing, but locally it was a big deal. Like, people really were just like, oh, this is so crazy, a cake that looks like a burrito.
That's always fun.
Yeah. So it's important to have things on your website that you want to make. So if you are trying to get more high-end brides and you want to stop messing around with the low ballers, you got to have high-end cakes on your website. And that means investing in some cake dummies, investing in time to make sugar flowers, and not getting paid anything for it. I mean, that is a concept that I think people have a hard time grasping, but you really have to put that time into making really nice display cakes for bridal shows, really nice cakes for your website, and you cannot wait for somebody to order it for you. That's just part of, that process. But it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to make 100, just
a few. I mean, just to give them an example of what you do, the work that you do. And you know what? People used to ask me, when I had my business, can I see your cake portfolio? And I would just say, you know what? The pictures that are on my website are an example of what I do. Yeah. And I don't show them all of the pictures because, I don't want them to see the simple little 3-tier cake that just has a ribbon around the bottom. Right. Because I don't want them to order that, know. Exactly. So yeah, I agree 100%, absolutely, completely. If you want to get a high-end bride or customer, display high-end cakes, and it is an investment if you haven't done them for people before, but every business requires some kind of an investment. If you're going to be serious about it, be serious about it, so definitely. One thing that I might add is make sure that you charge what you're worth. If people are going to be coming to you saying, I want this, elaborate cake, and you're charging $2 a serving, they're not going to respect you for being the high-end cake decorator that you want to be. So, just a thought. Everyone needs to lift their thinking as far as what you're worth. And
also, I mean, if you're cheap, people, like high-end clients, don't want to order from cheap cake decorators. They'll just be like, wow, this person's really cheap. Like, their cakes are only $2 a serving. It's probably not going to be very good. Like people who have money expect to pay a decent price for something, and they want, and it sounds dumb, but they're not going to like brag about buying a $200 cake. They're going to brag, be like, this cake cost me $1,000, and all these flowers are handmade sugar, and this is, this lace is all edible. I mean, they want something to talk about. So it might feel like you're not getting as many clients because you're not as busy, but if you think about it, if you do one cake and get paid $1,000 instead of making 2 cakes and making $500 a piece, you're working less and making the same amount of money. So it feels like you're not as busy, but you actually are. You're actually still making the same amount of money, but now you're getting the higher end clients and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes people are afraid to jump into that because they're like, well, if I don't have a cake this week, then I'm not making any money. But, and so I can't turn down this client that wants this cake for $100 because I have to be able to make this cake this week.
Right.
You don't have to take every cake. You just don't. And I know that's easier said than done when you have a bill coming up that you've got to pay. But just keep that in mind that. Go for, don't be afraid to turn down cakes.
Right.
Someone's asking a really good question. She says, do you keep the pictures online anywhere or do you remove them all? It's up to you, really. But know that if you want people to buy the high-end cakes, I don't know if you want to have the low-end cakes up there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I after a few years, I have like hundreds of cake photos, and it used to be like cakes from last year. I was like, oh, I don't really love those cakes anymore. And now I feel like it's like cakes from a couple months ago. I'm like, I don't really love that cake anymore.
you know what? I was going through my cake pictures, and oh my gosh, I've got to get back into doing some major cakes because all of the cakes, when I was looking at them, I'm like, they've all got the not. They don't have the crisp edges. They don't have. They're not current cakes, and I'm like, I want to just get rid of all of them and start over again.
Yes, yeah.
I'm so ready to do that.
Yeah, some of them I liked the design, and I'm just like, I should redo that cake. It's like not quite straight, not quite flat. And oh, speaking of flat, crisp edges, if anybody does not have Jessica Harris's Clean and Simple Cakes, it's her first class on Craftsy. You need to go buy that right now and go.
It's a good one. Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Edges.
Yeah, definitely staying current with the new trends and techniques definitely is worth it. Let's see, we've got another question. We'll only take a couple of them because I know we're running over already. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's see, how did you come up with a logo?
Oh, well, that was very difficult. I had like 6 logos, 6 I think, and I had designed them all. And it was very, very difficult for me to decide on a logo that I liked. So I ended up having my husband design a logo for me, which I don't think he really enjoyed. Nobody enjoys their wife standing over them going, I don't know if I really like it, and make a little bit, it was horrible for him. But ultimately, I feel like you will have the most success and be the most happy with your logo if you have somebody else design it. So I expressed to my husband that I wanted wings in my logo. I don't know why. I just love that sort of like design. And I wanted it to be something that could be easily translated to all black or all white. And I like steampunk, so I wanted it to sort of have this Victorian kind of old world feel to it. So I wanted like a banner, and I mean, there was just like these, I didn't really say how I wanted the logo to look. I just kind of explained what I wanted it to feel like. And my husband came up with my current logo design, and I love it. It's the one that I use for everything. I did update it recently to give it more of like a hand-drawn chalkboardy look, which I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping your logo current. It just as well like you would with your cake photos, keep your logo current,
Yeah. I've actually thought about changing up the colors of ours a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because I'm really liking the trendy.
I think I'm going to redo my website. There's nothing wrong with my website other than that it's just not very current,
Exactly. That's what we're working on too. Definitely. You definitely want to keep things current. It's really true.
Yeah.
For our website, or for our logo, we went to 99designs.com and just told them basically what we wanted, and there are people that go on and they submit their idea, and you can go with whoever you want. But Liz Marrek, I know you've done logos for people before, right?
Right. Yeah, I used to do it all the time, and I love making logos. That was my favorite part of design. And I recently had to stop just because the logo process is very in-depth. If you think about if you wanted a logo, Amelia, I mean, you got to like explain to me your company philosophy, all of the things that you're trying to represent in this little mark. We have to come together for like a consistent creative, starting point. What do you want it playful? Do you want it sophisticated? That kind of stuff. I mean, it's like a mind-reading process, and that just takes a long, long time. And I'm really short on time these days. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I spent the last 6 months of my life just constantly sitting at my computer working on my book, and it just came out for pre-order today on Amazon. So
yay, I saw that. That's so exciting.
Very exciting, and it feels like that was like my whole life was just consumed by this writing process. So I had to give up doing logos, and I think I'm gonna probably not get back into it. Just things are moving on. Life is liquid, you know. It's just moving in a different direction now. So
Awesome.
also,
Well,
I think you're having a baby or something. I don't know.
yeah, something like that. You know, you're not busy at all.
No. Babies aren't a lot of work, are they?
Oh gosh. Don't get me started. All right. So I have a couple of things that I want to share with you guys first before we go. One is the link to go and register for the giveaway. Let's see. I want to show you guys this really fast. We are doing a discount for the digital templates. So for the next, until, we'll go through Saturday because we're giving away the thing on Friday, so we'll go through Saturday. But for now we have the entire package of all of the digital templates. Normally around $50, we're doing for $29.99. So if you have been wanting to get into the digital cake sketching thing, and
who doesn't? Hello.
Right, exactly. Who doesn't? It's so amazingly cool. So if you haven't gotten into it yet and have been wanting to, now's the time to order that because it's very, very good discount. It gives you everything that is available right now in the digital cake sketching in our marketplace. And yeah, and you can get that for $29.99. Yay! So there's that. Hopefully you guys can see that little package deal. And then, let's see, we also have, you don't see a picture on there. Sorry, no picture for that. Oh well. So we also have our, I'm not sure exactly. I'm trying. I really am trying. Okay, so this, I believe, is the giveaway. So you go and enter the giveaway on that link in the chat box. And right where it says check it out, click on that big yellow thing that says check it out. And that's where you guys can go and enter for the giveaway. Yay! And we will be drawing the winners on Friday. So make sure that you are around on Friday and watching. We will post the winners on our Facebook pages. Mm-hmm. And
we'll do another giveaway, and then we'll do another one.
And then we'll do another one. This is so fun.
I know, it's so fun. I love this, that we're doing this together, and it's a great way to thank everybody for just, I mean, the community is just like your family when you do what we do, you know, so it's just like such a great way to just be like, Christmas for everybody.
Well, and you know, I kind of feel like I'm like your cake sister because I mean, we kind of started, you know, building things up at about the same time, and we've kind of been growing along the same paces all the way along. And I think that we've done a fairly good job of working with each other and kind of, you know, I don't know. It's just been fun. It's been really fun.
It's gonna get better, even better.
Exactly. Well, and you know, you and I think, are a very good example of the fact that, you know, we could be competition and hate each other or whatever because, you know, we're both. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, there are things that you offer that I offer also, and things like that. So I mean, we are, in a small way, a little bit of competition, but not really because there's enough to go around. And I think that that's something that
we're working together.
Yeah, I think that that's something that, as a community and as a social group in the cake world, I think we need to understand that, and I think it's really good to understand that there's room enough for everybody, and we can all get along, and we can all play together, and we can all be happy. So.
I totally agree.
Yeah, well, thank you for, you know, being my cake friend. And thank you everybody out there for coming and joining us. I'm sorry we went over so far, but I hope you guys got some really good information from this. And
come to Sugar Geeks or Digital Cake Sketching if you guys have more questions about this kind of stuff. We're always on there.
Absolutely. Sugar Geeks is really awesome. They're fun. Yeah, so... Again, go like all the pages, subscribe to the pages, register for the email lists, and of course, enter the giveaways. So.
And don't forget to buy my book on Amazon.
Yes, and pre-order your book. Do you have a link for that?
Yeah, I posted it in the chat, but if you just go to Amazon and search for Artisan Cake Company's Visual Guide to Cake Decorating, it is in there. I'll give
Awesome.
you a link to put in the video description when this goes onto YouTube.
Okay, and I'll post it on my Cake Foo page
Yes.
too. So, yay! So exciting! Congratulations again.
My other baby.
Yeah, your other baby. You are a busy woman.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you guys have a great day. Good luck with all of your social media and all of your branding and all of that.
Go forth and social media.
Exactly. All right, have a good day, and we'll see you another time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.